WompRatRadio tonight. We are getting ready for the Bad Batch on May the 4th by looking back at the Bad Batch from Clone Wars Season 7, Episode 1, 2, 3, 4. Stick with us. So much more coming.
WompRatRadio, Tatooine.
Iceland spaceport. You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Impressive. Most impressive. You are not a Jedi yet.
The Force is what gives the Jedi his power.
I love you.
I know.
It binds the galaxy together.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
No disintegration.
As you wish.
Half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder.
This is where the fun begins.
At last, we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi.
Feel. Don't think. Use your instincts.
This is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
Ahsoka. My name is Ahsoka Tano.
Why did you come here?
Because of you and your apprentice.
You already know the truth. The belonging you seek is not behind you. It is ahead.
My name's Rex. But you'll call me Captain or Sir.
Sir, yes, sir.
They said 50 years old.
The commission was quite specific. The asset was to be terminated.
Whoa, man. Slow down. Might want to quit while you're ahead.
You might want to quit while you're behind.
You cannot tear this ship apart until you found those plans and bring me the passengers. I want them alive.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only
Not
hope.
so fast. It appears I have an idiot's array.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
He doesn't like you.
Sorry.
I don't like you either.
I am Bo-Katan of Clan Kryze.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Use the Force, Luke. Let go, Luke. You can't win, Darth. You strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. Put Captain Solo in the cargo hold.
Could be worse.
It's worse.
Ranger Craft, do you copy? You have to reduce speed.
Almost there. Almost there.
Ranger Craft, do you copy?
May the Force be with you.
Your destiny lies with me, Skywalker. Obi-Wan knew this to be true. Wars not make one great.
Thank Ferret, that was close.
You were right. You were right about me.
Hey everyone, how's it going tonight? I am Sam from Sam's Disney Diary. We're talking Star Wars. We're talking the Bad Batch. I am inviting in with me my friend, my colleague here, Stan Solo. Stan the man, what's up?
Hello. How are you, Sam?
I'm doing great. I should say from the Solo Show. It's Stan Solo, right?
Yeah, the Solo Show.
There you go. I love that. I love that. Which, by the way, let me ask you this fundamental question. Do we celebrate Earth Day in the Star Wars universe?
Is it Earth Day or Alderaan Day that we're celebrating?
Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Or the demise of Alderaan Day. I've been
Either way, I
Alderaan.
just thought that happy Earth Day to everybody. Although every day should be Earth Day. We're only borrowing this planet for our and keeping it for our children. That's really all we're doing in the grand scheme of things. But along those lines, Stan, you know, the Bad Batch is almost here. It's the end of April. May the 4th is going to be here before you know it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be fun.
Just going back, I was thinking with Alderaan today. Do you think there were any stormtroopers on Alderaan when they blew up
on Alderaan or on
Alderaan or on Jeddah?
Jeddah during Rogue One. Either way, I don't think that Tarkin or Krennic cared if there were.
That's what I'm thinking. Like that's how disposable these stormtroopers were. I'm betting there were some.
Probably in the grand scheme of things, there probably were. If not, we might get the stormtroopers at some point in this episode because we want to talk about the Bad Batch.
Mm-hmm.
The Bad Batch is coming on May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. But May the 4th, dude, always brings other specials with it too, right? So just May the 4th in general. I love that day. May the 4th be with you.
Yeah.
A little bit of news, and I want to talk about one because the first one here is near and dear to my heart. You know my Star Wars Lego fascination there, right, Stan?
Yep.
So
yep.
on May the 4th, actually May the 5th, R2-D2 is coming back in Lego form.
Oh, so it's May 5th, not May 4th.
Well, May the 1st, 5/1.
Oh, okay, right. Okay.
That's when it starts. It goes on sale on May the 1st.
Okay, that's good to know.
5/1, which is good because he's probably going to sell out quick. I got to tell you, I didn't get the R2-D2 the last time it came through, and I am extremely happy that it's coming back.
And this one's like 13 inches, right?
And I think that sounds about right. I don't have the specs in front of me.
I believe it was 13 inches tall.
So that goes on sale on 5/1, which is cool. Stan absolutely needs that, John. And in fact, check this out because John, you might be able to help us with this one. If you look at this, there is also you get the free homestead if you get this shipped early. But if you go to a store while supplies last, from May the 1st to May the 5th, you get a free Imperial shuttle.
I was thinking of going to the store.
That's cool.
Is what I was thinking.
There you go to a store, $40.
Yeah.
You get a free homestead. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty good. No, you get to the store, you get the shuttle.
If you go to the store, you get the shuttle. That assumes they have the R2.
Yeah.
If you order online and spend $85, you get the homestead up on the top there, which looks kind of cool. You got the little looking down in.
I like that shuttle. That's like one of my favorite ships in Star Wars is the
Imperial shuttle. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're flying in when the wings go up and that sucker lands. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I got some other quick news as well. And this one will say for Ed. And
VIP sweep. Go back. What's a VIP sweepstakes?
The VIP sweepstakes is a enter to win a figurine that's never been launched before.
Okay.
Dutch Vander.
Okay.
I'm not even sure who that is. Do you know?
Nope.
There you go. VIP sweepstakes. So you can spend your VIP points to do that.
Oh, okay. I don't have any VIP points. I always forget to bring my card when I go to the Lego store.
I got a virtual card. I got an app that does that. Thank you, Panda, for sharing. So what else we have coming up? Check this out, Stan. We have Doc Ondor going to be in the second edition of Tales from Galaxy's Edge. That is the virtual reality game.
Okay.
That takes place in Galaxy's Edge. Doc Ondor's in the set, and Lucasfilm's just confirmed this. He's in the second installment. That's cool.
That'd be really cool. Yeah.
Very cool.
I haven't played any video games in 20 years, 40 years.
I haven't put on the headset yet. My son has the headset. I haven't turned it on. All right. So maybe you've done this, though. Other news that's happened. Some new Black figures from the Black series, begun the Clone Wars from Hasbro. 4 new figures introduced in that lineup. Anakin, clone pilot Hawk.
That's a new character, I think. I don't remember Hawk.
Is he? I don't remember Hawk either. He's a clone pilot. Makes me wonder if we're going to see him here at some point.
That's what I'm thinking.
Then Jedi Knight Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that is Echo on the right-hand side.
Is that Echo or Rex?
That's Echo.
Oh, you're right. It is Echo. Yeah, I can see the helmet. You're right. It is Echo.
Yeah, that is Echo in this.
Echo before he got taken by the.
Yeah, which we're going to talk about because he's got a hand in that one, by the way. So,
yeah, he's not part astromech.
But I can tell you this: if you look at Echo in this image, and then I show you the image of the Bad Batch, Echo looks a lot different, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has a gray tone going on. It's skinnier.
Yeah.
Video gaming stops the aging process.
It does, John. Video gaming stops the aging process. Man, I'd be 10 years. I'd be 16 if that was the case.
That would explain.
I absolutely would be. Maybe I don't know. All right, so let's get into the Bad Batch, if we can, because I'm really looking forward to this. So I gave you homework to do, and I also gave the same homework to Jimmy and Ed, which was to go back and do a rewatch of the Bad Batch, which was the Clone Wars season 7, episode 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll talk about that more in a second. Did you do your homework? That's my first question.
I wish I had homework I got back when I was in school.
Isn't this the truth? Isn't this the truth? I absolutely did that homework. So I did it as well. I went back. We're going to talk more about that in just a second. But this is the early on concept art of the Bad Batch starting May the 4th coming up. Now, recently, just this past week, we got a new poster for the Bad Batch and a trailer. And we also got some emojis. So if you go to Twitter and you hashtag Bad Batch, you get Hunters whose helmet pops up and down with your hashtag, which is kind of cool.
That's cool.
But this said, I thought we need to look closer at this poster. Stan, what do you think? Because clearly the Emperor is playing games here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
for the trailer, you could see he's playing games too.
He is, and we'll touch more on that in a second. I also am curious as to what this ship is here.
That's that clone kid's ship.
Speaking of the kid, let's scan down on the poster here for a second.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, what's going on here?
So is that a red flag for you?
The kid here, is it a red flag in what context?
Well, it seems like whenever time they have a kid in Star Wars, it's not the best episodes.
Well, I found some of the Boba Fett as a child episodes in the early Clone Wars interesting, but only because it was Boba Fett.
Only because it was Boba Fett.
But then along those lines, I did not find young Anakin all that intriguing in the live action.
Yeah. And so it seems like whenever there's kids involved in Star Wars, it's not.
They're attracting another audience. The biggest thing I'm wondering is what is this medallion on the forehead of the youngster?
Well, that's the same medallion that the clone makers had on their foreheads
in El Camino. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, very interesting. Wonder if he's a clone of sorts.
That's what I'm thinking.
Maybe he is. Maybe that's the connection. I love that. I haven't thought of that.
Yeah, I'm pretty
sure. All right.
So
for those of you that don't know, the Bad Batch is part of the Clone Wars season 7, the final season. By the way, it is on Disney Plus right now. It's a great watch of 4 episodes. There are 4 of them. The Bad Batch, A Distant Echo, On the Wings of a creature I can't say the name of, and Unfinished Business. We'll get to these in just a second. But Stan, in general, the Clone Wars season 7 is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I even went and broke it down because I wanted to look at this closer. Which, by the way, there's 12 episodes in that season. That's 133 episodes of the Clone Wars. Think about that for a second.
The only thing with the season 7 was the Ahsoka ones. I was so pumped about, and they had kids in them, and they weren't that.
I'm going to stay with you. So basically, the entire season of Clone Wars season 7 is 3 mini movies. Let's put it that way. It's 3 story arcs. One is the Bad Batch, one is Ahsoka's Walkabout, and the last one is the Siege of Mandalore. And as good as the Bad Batch is, the Siege of Mandalore is better. Yeah. It had me on the edge of my seat waiting for the next episode, to the extent of Mandalorian in season 2. It was that for me when these came out. It was that like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? What's going to go on?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about some other.
We don't want to spoil the ending on episode 12 either for anybody.
No, absolutely not.
It's a really good ending.
That is another one that we will come back to at some point.
Yeah.
Now, here's something interesting I learned while I was doing some homework, because we know that the Clone Wars likes to jump around in timeline, right? These actually aren't in chronological order on the Star Wars timeline, the way that they happen.
Yeah,
I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah, no, I knew that. The reason being is going back to George Lucas watching the Flash Gordon mini clips before the actual feature. He loved those. But he said they were never in order. We went to see him in the theater. He had to kind of put the movie in the order in his head, the story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Where that comes from.
Yeah, but these in general, because they were, all 4 together, but in chronological order, the Ahsoka Walkabout story takes place first.
Yeah.
Followed by the Bad Batch, and then the Siege of Mandalore.
Which was awesome.
Which is awesome. But part of the reason why, as I was doing some research on this, part of the reason they switched it is because there's a handoff of Ahsoka that goes into the Siege of Mandalore.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to lose that. They felt that they lost it when they played them in the right order. So they took the Bad Batch up front and they wanted to go. Although I will be like, I'm sure you agree. I know that Jimmy and Ed do. 5, 6, 7, and 8 are probably the low point of this season.
Yeah.
But they're still good.
And it looks like Bad Batch is going to continue right off where Victory of Death ended.
I think so.
From the looks, from what I've seen.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that in a second. Please, Stan, you're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I love about all of the Clone Wars is they have the sort of like the title. Instead of saying a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, it throws up something else that makes you think about what the episode's going to be about.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the psychological connection. And this is what that looked like for episode 1. Embrace others for their differences, for that makes you whole. These remind me of the Bell of the Day sayings that I've seen a couple of times before.
The Bell of the Day sayings?
The bell. No, the grocery store, you wrap the bell up in it. Never mind.
Like that must be something they don't have in Canada. To me, I always called them the fortune cookie because they remind me of fortune cookie.
Okay. Yes, they are. So the search for truth begins with belief. That was the second episode. Yep. Survival is one step on the path to living. The third episode, and trust placed in another is trust earned. So we'll get to those and sort of what those things talk about.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go back and relook at some pieces of the Bad Batch. This is one of the introductions that they made in that first episode of season 7, The Clone Wars.
Experimental Unit Clone Force 99. The defective clones with desirable mutations. 99, eh? Huh. Nice touch. They call themselves the Bad Batch.
The cavalry has arrived!
So that's our first intro. And by the way, right there at the end, I'd love to get Ed to translate that right there.
Yeah.
Wonder what that poster says, because that's interesting for sure. It almost looks like a movie poster, doesn't it?
That's what I was just going to say. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that. So that's our introduction.
Like an album poster or something like that.
Yeah. They are defective clones with desirable battlefield traits.
And what did Cody say about when he said Clone Force 99? Did he say nice touch or something like that? What
nice touch for 99? Yeah, I'm not exactly
what
sure
does that mean?
I'm not sure. I thought it was a Wayne Gretzky reference, but
that's what I'm thinking too. And I know that Filoni's a huge hockey fan.
Yes, he is, absolutely.
And I don't think he's much of a Gretzky fan. He's more of a Sidney Crosby fan, being from Pittsburgh.
Well, Lemieux, but yeah.
So I'm wondering if it's like a shot at Gretzky that these clones that are not quite, but they're really good, but they're not quite right.
Yeah, maybe. All right, so let's look at what they do. And you're familiar with this. The beginning of every episode, they kind of talk about the last one. So here's the 30-second recap of episode number 1 that would have been at the beginning of episode 2. But anyway, here it is.
An elite clone squad is deployed to investigate the Separatist tactical advantage. This special unit, called the Bad Batch, infiltrates Admiral Trench's cyber center to steal a strategic algorithm capable of predicting the Republic's every move. What our heroes found was a live signal from the ARC trooper known as Echo, a clone long believed to be dead.
There you go. I mean, there was a lot packed into that first episode, right? A lot packed in because the good guys are losing all the time. They don't know why. It's almost like the bad guys understand their strategy. And Rex starts to think that the only person that would know this strategy is Echo. How could they possibly be doing it? And he's got a hunch, and he's got to convince the others to follow him, and they go in and they make the discovery, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. And why would he think it was Echo in particular?
Well, at one point
he left him for dead and wasn't sure if he was dead or not. I knew that part, but how many clones were there that got left for dead?
Well, but there was, I'm sure, lots. There was a point in that first episode where Rex says, these are specific battlefield tactics that Echo and I drew up.
You're right.
And the only way that they would have recognized these tactics is if Echo's watching it.
Yeah.
Hey, Holly, how you doing?
Hello.
That's the only way they would have known it. So they end up finding Echo. There was at one point they go to some. We're not going to get into all the details here, but just pull out some of the parts I loved. And I found one, and I immediately thought of Ed when I saw this picture, because this was when Hunter asked Tech to translate what he said. He being the alien creature, and he has this augmented reality goggles that he looks through. He sees them. Sees what the alien is speaking and then translates it to the Karbash, and this blew my mind when I saw this.
That makes C-3PO obsolete.
Maybe it does, yeah. 3PO, the protocol droid. Although I don't know how many Tech would be able to do that for, but there you go. That was cool, Ed. That's your shout out right there. They do find Echo. Echo's been through quite a bit at the point when they find Echo. That's for certain. But they find him and they rescue him.
I liked how they said, I don't think he can walk. And next you know, he's running.
Yes, he's a little disoriented. This is true.
Yeah, he can barely walk. He can't walk. He's running, jumping over cliffs.
Yeah. All right. Here's the recap for the second episode.
To rescue Trooper Echo, General Skywalker, Captain Rex, and the Bad Batch travel to Skako Minor, headquarters of the Techno Union. After a harrowing encounter with the natives, our heroes infiltrate the city of Burkle, only to find themselves surrounded by Wat Tambor's forces.
All right. Wat Tambor, the separatists at this point are the bad guys. We'll talk about timeline in just a minute. But here's what drove me nuts about this episode, Stan, because right there, these creatures, I'm thinking, all right, another battle droid, whatever. They just got some crazy looking arms. They must be able to do things like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was thinking anyway. And then in the very next scene, see you later. These guys are escaping. And these battle droids
can fly.
Come on, man.
I thought they were pretty cool design.
I did too, especially because the wings are kind of glowing.
Yeah.
Those things can fly.
They fly now.
They fly now? Yeah. Well, that's a quote from was that
Rise of
Skywalker? Was that Rise of Skywalker or Last Jedi? Whenever it was when he went flying.
Yeah.
When Finn says it. Finn says it to Rey while they're riding on that bike. They can fly.
Yeah, they fly now. They all say it,
which was just funny as can be. They can fly. Yeah. All right, here's the episode 4 recap. We might as well do that. And by the way, that is now that Echo is back. That's Rek and Echo and Cody, and it's not Fives. Who's the other one in there?
Isn't that Fives with the 5 handprint?
You know what? It might be Fives, but I thought 5 is gone at this
point. Or did 5 do the handprint?
He might have done it. I think 5s might be gone at this point. Let's see.
Yeah.
United, with the help of the Bad Batch, Captain Rex rescues his old friend Trooper Echo from the Techno Union. The separatist loss of Echo's strategic algorithm provides a chance for the Republic to turn the tide in the battle for an axis. However, Echo's horrifying experience behind enemy lines leaves lingering questions of his true loyalty.
Yeah, leaves lingering questions. We know that he's loyal the entire time. Some of the other cool things there, the fact that it wasn't an algorithm. The algorithm was Echo, but the separatists were treating him like it was an algorithm, turning him into a computer, reading his mind, doing those kind of things. But he was able to get it back. He's got this cool little connector here that lets him plug into things just like R2-D2.
Yeah,
thought that was interesting, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of part protocol droid, part astromech. Oh, not protocol, astromech, and part human.
Right,
clone,
right.
Clone, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'd say. Now, this particular episode does have one of my favorite parts, and I want to show you this. And it's got nothing to do with the.
Yeah, I love this.
Nothing to do with the Bad Batch, but I just thought this was great. It also puts you in the timeline. This is Mace Windu and Obi-Wan who've arrived to do some battle.
I got to tell you what my wife said after watching this.
My name is General Mace Windu of the Jedi Order. At this point of the Clone War, I have dismantled and destroyed over 100,000 who had won battle. I'm giving you an opportunity to peacefully lay down your weapons so that you may be reprogrammed to serve a better purpose than spreading the mindless violence and chaos which you have inflicted upon the galaxy.
That doesn't go so well.
I guess we'd like to try.
I guess it was worth a try.
So my wife doesn't. She's not really a Star Wars fan,
right?
She liked The Mandalorian. So we're watching. We had this on, and she. Who is he kidding? And she was watching. She says.
Right, but that's somebody's inside joke right there, dude. Somebody's inside joke.
Like, who is he kidding?
Right, somebody's inside joke. I don't know who, but it's one of those things. It's just funny to see that and go like, yeah, there's no way that's not going to happen.
Even the droids were shrugging their shoulders at him.
They're like, what? Blast him. They couldn't comprehend that no matter what. All right, I got another part that I like a lot here, Stan, and this was the character we don't talk about a lot. In fact, we haven't even mentioned him, Crosshair, who's the sharpshooter. And in this particular clip, there's a whole bunch of battle droids coming down a ship after the guys here. This is absolutely, and I love this one.
I love this.
First, you think he's throwing blasters.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
How touching.
The cinematography there is amazing. The shot is amazing. That thing bouncing back and forth. You know, first you just put your wow, that's so cool on. Then you're thinking, what is that? Is that Beskar he's shooting off of? Is it what the heck could that possibly be? He's sticking to the wall and shooting.
Yeah, Beskar makes more sense.
It's got to be something that can resist a laser blast and shoot it, or whatever the heck was in the garbage compactor. When Chewie takes a shot and he goes, whoa, those so they're lined with blah, blah, blah.
I think the garbage compactor was ray shielded or something like that. Isn't that what they say?
Well, he said Leia, it's lined with something.
Because Leia says, I already tried that. I thought
it's something. Shielded. Yeah, I forget what though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was an awesome clip right there. And that, by the way, so they rescue Echo, they bring him out. The last scene goes along these lines.
Those are some of the finest troopers I've ever fought alongside. Echo, you and I go way back. If that's where you feel your place is, then that's where you belong.
And at that point, he makes his decision, man. I'm not like all the other clones. I'm different now.
No.
And Rex is good with it. That is the Bad Batch. That's the last we see of him right there.
Yep.
Created by George Lucas. That's it. So that right there is exactly where this series is going to pick up. I don't know what to expect next, but it's going to be cool. So back to timelines. Right? Because this gets really interesting, and a couple of these things we talked about before. So within the timelines, we're after the Clone Wars, before episode 3, or are we? I want to talk about that in more detail in just a second.
I believe Bad Batch is going to be after or during episode 3.
During, that's what I'm after. I think it's going to be happening at the same time, which is why we see the Emperor. And in a couple of the trailers, we see the scene of the Emperor saying, "We've been reformed into the Galactic Empire." So that's Order 66. I think it's going to take place in these episodes somewhere, and it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah. What you're missing here is Resistance is also during episode 3.
Resistance is 3? No, the Resistance is First Order.
Right, you're right. Never mind.
Resistance is First Order.
You're right.
It's very similar, but that one's General Hux talking about.
Yeah. I was thinking a different explosion.
All right, so there's two characters I want to talk about. One of these we already talked about because we know the Mandalorian happens here in 9 ABY. We're talking about 19 BBY, and we know that we talked about this before. The Bad Batch trailer and the Mandalorian Fennec is in this episode. Another interesting character out there, Stan, is Saul Guerrera. Because Saul was in the Clone Wars in one of those story arcs. By the way, we just talked about it. There's 122 episodes. There's story arcs all over the place. He's in that arc. He was also in Rebels. And of course, he was in Rogue One live action.
Yep.
Now he's going to appear in the Bad Batch, which is somewhere along these lines. And by the way, I know you're not a video game player, but if you were, he's also in Jedi Knight Fallen Order.
Okay.
Kind of interesting. So that's an interesting character that we can see some development of here. Now, interestingly enough, we know that he started as one of the rebels, and by the time he gets to the end of his life, he doesn't trust anybody. He's a rebellion, but he's out on the right-hand side. He doesn't trust the rebels. He doesn't trust he only trusts his own guys.
Yeah, he's like his own faction of the rebels.
He's his own faction.
He's not dealing with the rebels don't do enough for him.
The rebels are too political. He just wants to blow up the bad guys and get the thing over with.
Yeah, I just want to.
That's the best way to put it, right?
Pretty much.
He just wants to go in and get rid of them. He wants to go in, wipe them out. He doesn't want any of the politics that surround it. Just let me go.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go back to the timeline very quickly if we can. And I zoomed in a little bit here. So we're 22, 21, 2019. That was the Clone Wars. Okay. We know the Clone Wars animated movie happened somewhere in the middle of this. The events of episode 3 are a year after the Clone Wars, which end with season 7. So the Bad Batch finishes just about a year before those other events that happen. And when I say those other events, I specifically mean Order 66.
Yeah.
And the Emperor saying, execute Order 66, which is when all of the clone troopers should have turned on their Jedi counterparts, right? It was all part of Palpatine's grand plan of making sure there were clones assigned to every Jedi so that when he executed that order, they would turn.
Right.
But we know that the handful of clones that had their chips removed that would stop this, like Rex and Echo and some others, did not go through that order. But it does bring some interesting questions as far as where this is going to be.
Well, so I guess it would be during Clone Wars, not during...
Well, it could be right after.
When did Order 66 get executed?
It would have been right at during the events of episode 3. So that arrow should point to 18.
So it should be during episode 3. Because my understanding is, or I assuming we're going to see Order 66 executed in the Bad Batch series.
Yeah, watch me do this. Look at this. Oh, okay. Now if I do, I'm doing some things live here. There, I moved that. All right, so let's watch the trailer, and I may pause it in here at some points if that's all right. But let's watch how this thing goes.
A test is in order. 5 enhanced clones, more capable than an army. Yet they exhibit a concerning level of disobedience in disregard for orders.
All right, I paused it there real quick because I wanted to point out that's Tarkin, clearly, right? And he was standing next to one of the El Camino, the long necks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So they must
notice the jewel on the forehead there too.
Yes. So there is some conversation here happening around, what are these things and how did this happen? And he also doesn't like the fact that they don't listen.
Yeah.
Our squad's nothing but trouble. But we get the job done.
You're Clone Force 99.
I wasn't fast.
You know who we are.
All right. So the kid knows they're Clone Force 99.
Yep.
And there he is. He's got the batch, and they're clearly on El Camino because all the tall dudes in the background.
The kid has all the trading cards and the poster in his room.
Yeah, clearly.
Let's go.
He's a fan.
He knows her name.
Echo.
Hyperdrive's online.
Tick.
Prepping to jump.
Reckon.
Let's blow something up. Yeah.
And Crosshair.
Your move. We're all you need.
All right, those were stormtroopers a second ago right there.
Really? I missed that.
99.
Hold on.
I missed
I'm
that.
going to back up a tiny bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Right there.
You are
Well, no, you know what? They're clones.
No,
They're
they're
somewhere
clones.
between
No,
clones and they're clones, but man, do they look like stormtroopers, huh?
Yeah. The armor's definitely getting that way.
It's the in between.
Yeah.
Right?
They still have the clone helmets on.
They still have the clone helmets, but man, that armor is looking more and more like stormtroopers.
Yeah, they got this.
I want clone
So he's with clones
Force
there.
99, found and wiped out.
Yeah, they're clones.
The galaxy's a dangerous place to be.
That's Fennec right there.
Yeah.
We need to get out of here. What do you say, kid? You want to come with us?
How can I help?
Who's doing the voice of the kid, do you know?
I don't know. That voice right there, the Clone Wars have ended. That's Saw Gerrera.
You can either adapt and survive, or die with the past.
Which was him flipping that.
Yeah, that was tough.
The decision is yours.
That's him right there. That's Saw.
We do what we do. Strap in, kid.
Yeah. Nice, huh? Nice.
Beautiful.
It gets me fired up right
I'm
there
excited.
just looking at it. Now, there's also a sizzle reel. You want to look through the sizzle reel real quick?
Sure.
All right. Sure. Why not, man? I'm gonna stop it along the way too, just because I like to stop it and talk about this.
They call themselves the Bad Batch.
There's that ship with the triangle.
Yeah, exactly. Did he have one of those whips that we talked about in that one storybook? Right there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know who that is he's fighting. Looks like a cat.
Is that a cat or one of those devil guys?
I don't know.
Interesting character.
That almost looks like Jeddah.
This almost looks like Russia.
Yeah. This is true. This is true.
When I first saw that, I went, hey, they're in Russia.
Wonder what planet that is. Interesting. They sound like stormtroopers, man.
Be reorganized
There it is.
into the first galactic empire.
So that would have been Order 66.
Yeah.
Or shortly thereafter. Because Order 66 is when everything changes. The Jedi start to get defeated. Yoda heads out to Dagobah. Obi-Wan gets the twins and gives one to Organa and heads out to Tatooine with Luke. It's when all that stuff happens.
Yep.
Right then. It's when Anakin becomes Vader. I mean, that all happens right then.
Yep.
It's crazy. There's some impressive looking stuff here. And by the way, that, from what I've read, is the ship that Ahsoka was fighting Maul on.
Okay.
Right there.
Yep.
So that's where it crashed. Whatever
At the end of Rebels.
Yes.
Got a lot of shiny clone troopers.
Yeah.
That was quite an impressive display.
I love that.
So I will say the first time that I watched this, I went back to that because I'm like, is it R2? Is it R2? But I don't think it is.
I don't think so. No.
No, it's not. Those are they're two astromechs. I'm not sure if that's one in the middle or not, but that was my first thought, dude. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's R2. No,
It kind of looks like one of those droids that have the treads on them. That was
yeah.
Always had.
Yep. One of the treads.
Well, like George Lucas said, that the astromech droids are like toasters in the Star Wars universe. Everybody has one.
Yeah.
And you forget what toaster you used to have. That's
right.
When Ben didn't recognize R2, he goes, "I don't remember having a astromech." And Luke says, "Well, he says he knows you."
Yeah.
George
So,
Lucas said, they're like toasters. You forget which toaster you had 40 years ago.
So we know that's true. I don't know which one I had. So here's what we know, and this is what's blowing my mind, because we just tied some of this back. The Bad Batch premieres on May the 4th, just a couple of weeks. In fact, 2 weeks from now, on Thursday, when we do this again, we would have already watched the first episode, which is 70 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's a movie, dude.
It's a movie. It's awesome.
It's a movie. That's the kickoff. And then we're going to get one every Friday starting May the 7th for 14 weeks or 13 weeks.
13
I think
weeks,
there's 14 altogether.
14 episodes. Yeah.
14 episodes. There are so many stories that can be told. And based on that, dude, this thing has got to go into some crazy timelines as far as when this is. So if I go back to this here,
series gets 14 episodes.
14, and one of them's a movie length. So we could go. I mean, we could see these guys go, and there's some interesting questions that need to get asked here because they're clones, right? Now they're defective clones, but did they never get their chip, or did they just disobey the chip altogether when Order 66 happened? Where were they? Or if they were by no Jedi because they weren't assigned somewhere, is that why they didn't turn? Or did they? But it sounds here like they're the enemy of Tarkin. He wants them taken out.
Well, like Tarkin's not training him, but wanting to see what they can do. I'm assuming that's going to be the first episode. That's what we're going to see on May 4th.
Well, I think Tarkin wants to find out what went wrong, and if it's valuable, make some more of it go wrong.
Yeah, or does Tarkin want to destroy them, and that's what they go, let's get out of here.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Kid, you want to come with us?
Yeah.
Right? I could be. So this thing could go. I mean, look how far the Clone Wars went. They filled in so much of that gap between episode 2 and 3. And now we're going to take those storylines directly from the Clone Wars because we're picking up right when it ended. And we're going to extend that into the next era here, right past the Empire. We're going to see the fall of the Separatists and the rise of the Empire, and Palpatine from being the Chancellor to being the Emperor.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to this, dude.
And it's going to be through the eyes of these clones that we're all going to end up loving by the time this is done.
Could be. So, and it's interesting you say that because there were a couple other just general comments I wanted to make after my rewatch, which I know you did too. The first one is, it's amazing to comprehend that every clone is voiced by the same person.
Yeah.
D. Bradley Baker is every clone. And when you watch this and go back and replay it and know that there's more episodes coming, you watch a conversation between the Bad Batch, all 4 of them, and Rex and Cody. It's all the same person's voice, but they're clearly different people, different characters. You can't even tell.
Yeah, he said at Celebration that there were days that he went into the recording studio and it was the entire day they re-record, and he was the only one there.
I believe it. So, and it made me wonder, does he go from voice to voice, or would you lay down all the lines as Hunter and then come back and lay down all the lines as Tech and then come back and lay down all the right? And then they're going to do their magic and clip them together. But I would think that would be easier because then you could get yourself in the mindset of, okay, I'm Hunter.
I'm Hunter for the next 4 hours.
Yeah, it's a deeper voice. I know what I'm after. I know what I'm talking about. And then you could turn around and be Tech, and it's a little bit higher pitched. You're a little more nerdy. There's a little, you know what I mean? Or when you're Wrecker, you're just, I'm going to crush it. You're the Incredible Hulk every time.
His throat must get sore doing Wrecker.
It's gotta. So maybe he doesn't do them.
Like that's gotta
exactly. Or he talks in the alien language for a while there.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, whoa. If that's him, I don't know if that's him or not.
He even does the voices of all the beasts as well. Like when they have like a Sarlacc monster or a Wampa or something, he's doing the voices of those as well.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I saw him at Star Wars Weekends a couple of times. And he was a host of a few things, but it was always James Arnold Taylor that took the cake for the man with 1,000 voices, and he'd do his Scooby-Doo and then do his Fred Flintstone and all that stuff. Which was fun.
This guy.
There you go. That's a pop. You got pops everywhere, dude. Who else you got right next to you?
James Arnold Taylor does amazing voices as well.
I do have a pop.
But he's very. He says that he's not as good as Bradley.
I'll
Bradley
completely
Baker.
change everything. There's the pop I have nearby.
Oh, look
I
at
got a
that.
Sid.
Talking about hockey. Here we are.
We were talking about hockey. Yeah, I got a Sid.
Yeah,
Anyway, so what are you looking
James
most
Arnold
forward
Taylor
to?
says he's in awe of Deep Bradley Baker, and James Arnold Taylor does thousands of voices.
Yes, literally thousands of voices.
Mhm.
So I guess looking back, any other thoughts on Bad Batch from
I really like
7?
when you look at the final season, episode 7 of the Clone Wars versus the first season, how much the animation and the camera work and the clothing and the movement improved. It is amazing. It is amazing.
Oh, from season 1 to season 5, I think it improved.
Yeah. But season 7 really took the cake. Like there were scenes where they're running down the hallway, and it's like watching an episode of Cops where you got the cameraman following behind them, and it's a little bit of jerkiness to the camera. It's really well done. And there was another fly-in shot where the camera kind of came in, and there was like a walker going, and the camera went under the walker, and then over top of something else, and then came right into the Obi-Wan standing there, and then Obi-Wan started talking. And just the camera work alone is blowing my mind.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive stuff. And between the voices, the visual effects are stunning. I am definitely looking forward. And I'll tell you this, if you're watching out there right now, watch season 7, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, The Bad Batch. Get yourself ready for May the 4th. I might even watch it a third time. To lead right into May the 4th. Keeping in mind that May the 4th and then Friday the 7th, we get the first one. We have a 70-minute mini movie to kick this thing off, and it's going to take us right into 13 more episodes every Friday, which is going to take us into July or even further, won't it?
13 weeks? 4 months? 3 months?
It's going to take us into August.
May, June, July. Yeah.
That's cool. I'm looking forward to it. Disney Plus, man. You can't beat it. And then we still got Droids coming at some point in 2021. So we'll see what happens. We got all this to watch. And then we're hoping to hear something about other Disney Plus specials dropping this fall, whether that's the Book of Boba Fett or maybe it's Mando season 3. I think it's Book of Boba Fett. We're expecting that.
It's Christmas, I believe.
That's all right. If this takes us to August, that's okay.
Yeah.
Right? It's not that long. I mean, if this takes
great time to be a Star Wars fan, that's for sure.
I'm looking for some of the Bad Batch toys, which, by the way, some of those toys we talked about earlier are only at Target, which I thought was really interesting.
Toys R Us might have them here.
That's right. You're in Canada.
You don't have Target here.
We don't have Toys R Us here, so there you go.
Yeah, we get Toys R Us here.
There's still a lot of them?
Well, there's one in my city. It's not too far from me.
That's good. Yeah, no Toys R Us here. So
I got I think a probably about a 20-minute drive. I got a Lego store, a Disney store, a Toys R Us, and a Hallmark.
So you have to check to see if the Lego store does indeed have the free shuttle with the $40 purchase, because that's a Lego.
May 4th, I'll be going there. So
May the 4th. You might have to get there before that, but
well, I'll get there before that. But I'll go May 4th.
I don't know, because it starts May the 1st.
Yeah, I know
when their specials start.
Yeah.
I missed the May the 4th. There was a couple. There was a Star Wars weekend that was on May the 4th, and there was a Star Wars weekend that was over Father's Day weekend, which was incredible. Because there was a ton of Vader, I Am Your Father merchandise.
When is May the 1st? Is I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I'm working all day for May 1st.
Sorry, man.
Yeah.
Well, we all got work to do. I thank you for your time, Stan.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I never did get to go to a Star Wars weekends. That's something
I'm sorry, man. I wish I could. I love them. It's one of the things I miss most about the studios. And I know it's all Star Wars every day. No, it's not the same.
No.
I mean, that's where I met David Browse. That's where I met Peter Mayhew, Chewbacca and Vader and James Arnold Taylor and Ashley Eckstein and all those people were there signing autographs if you got there early enough, or Frank Oz was there. He wasn't signing autographs, but he was there.
He doesn't do autographs. I got his autograph, but he doesn't do autographs.
Well, good for you, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't do autographs, but I did get his.
All right. I'm going to start our outro here, Stan. Thank you very much for all of you watching here. May the force be with you, right?
May the force be with you.
We'll see you. May the 4th be with you. We'll see you in 2 weeks after May the 4th, but before the 7th. Take care, everybody.
Thanks for watching and listening to WRRT Womp Rat Radio Tatooine.
Goodbye, old friend. May the force be with you.
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 May the force be with us all.
And may the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with us.
May the force be with you.
And may the force be with us.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you both.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with us.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
The force will be with you. Always. Remember, the force will be with you. Always.
The force is with you, young Skywalker.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with us.